I mean, the truth of the matter is there's a problem with the SP. People don't trust him. Yes, we all need to support him to be successful.
Right.
But before then, Sedina had about 80 counts. So the 78 is not...
right.
Yes, right. Sedina had 80 counts.
Okay.
Then also, you remember a certain Mr. Tevi of the NCA
Yes,
case?
NCA.
He was on dialysis, but he was questioned. You remember a certain Dr. Anemana of the Atufosin case? He had health problems, but he was attending court until the AG entered Nole Prosecutor. Look, what was the strategy?
What do you mean? They were out of the country?
No.
And the officers were going there?
No, here. They were here.
So what's the comparison about?
Yes, I'm coming to address the issue. What was the strategy of the SP?
Okay.
Now, he said the finance minister left between 3rd and 7th of January. That was when he had a problem. He could have arrested him. He could have gone to court. He could have gone and asked the court to ask him to deposit his passport because he's a flight risk. And within that time, when there's a change of government, assuming we want to believe him that what he was telling us was the truth, that he tried and wasn't getting cooperation. If he had arrested him, no one from that government, the erstwhile government, would have said that, hey, don't arrest him. He would have arrested him by then. He would have sent him to court. He would have gotten the court to say, deposit your passport. He would have told the court that the man is a flight risk. And the court would have agreed with him, would have erred on that side and said, deposit your passport, and will not have run away. You see, currently, the SP is telling us that the prosecution, that the interior prosecution, Samson, help me here. Article 19.3 says that criminal prosecution shall take place in the presence of somebody who is charged with a criminal offense, unless the person decides not to be available when he's notified of it. Frank Davis tells us that he have not been notified. Now, so if we go on now and go for the trial and secure conviction, where are we getting to? Before we even go on to the trial, the judges will have to make sure that the person has been notified of the charges. How is the notification?
When were the charges filed?
I think last week.
Last week?
Or last 2 weeks, yes.
If you have a copy, you can look at when the charges were filed. And then you may answer also when Frank Davis says there has not been notice.
Frank Davis was telling us a few days ago that he's not been notified. They've not been notified of any.
Was the very same day the charges were filed?
Yes, that they've not been notified.
Yes.
Now, my concern is...
When you say day, who do you mean?
Frank Davis speaking for the
accused person, the suspect,
said that, well, his client has not been notified.
Okay.
You know, and I know very well, as I quoted, that he has to be notified before he attends court. Now, if he's not notified, how is the trial going on in his absence? If we compare it with the Sedina case, Sedina was already in court before she asked permission to travel out of the country. So we could safely say that she was notified. Assuming even that they have gone by the other way of criminal...
The charge sheets.
Yes.
Was filed on the 18th.
Yeah,
correct.
Of November.
Of this month.
Yes.
18th was which day? That was Tuesday.
Yes, okay.
Frank Davis spoke which day?
I don't have that.
Same day?
Same day, yes.
And the next day?
Yes. So already Ken was out of the country.
No, you said that he said he had not been notified.
Yes.
And that tells you that they are not working, they are not doing their work. They should have notified him.
Yes, no, I am saying that how was
from your work as a lawyer?
Yes.
A charge sheet filed by 18th.
Yeah.
Is this sufficient to accuse the office
of
not having notified the person?
Not at all.
In less than a week?
No, not at all.
So why do you buy the Frank Davis story?
No, I didn't buy the Frank. I'm making a case that, assuming now, how are we going to notify him? That's my question.
Okay.
Are we going to notify him by post? And the Constitution says that you bring the thing to the person's notification. What type of notification are we saying? Are we bringing it by post, by social media, or by publication in the Daily Graphic? Which one are we going to do? That is my concern.
So you educate us.
Yes. Now, if it is by criminal summons, which they would have gone to a magistrate to obtain that, yes, they could have done that by leaving it at the last known address with somebody who is above 18 or posting at the door or something over there for him to be notified. But now we have not been told whether there is a criminal summons that was initiated before this one.
Is it premature
to
be suggesting that they have filed, but they haven't notified them. Is it premature?
It is not premature at all.
It's not premature.
It's not premature at all.
That they filed it on Tuesday.
Yes.
And so by now, there should have been that service.
Yes, I would have thought that before the trial will begin, he would have to be notified. Otherwise, we are doing nothing.
Notified of what?
Of the charges.
Which have not been filed.
They have been filed on the 18th. You just said it.
Okay.
That they have been filed on the 18th. And my question, which I don't know you have the answer, is that has he been notified of the charges?
I asked you earlier that as a lawyer,
yes,
if you file charges on the 11th, on a Tuesday, by Wednesday, by Thursday, by Friday, is it not premature to suggest that the person who has been charged has not been served?
It's premature. Absolutely, I agree with you.
Then you are confusing me with what you're saying.
No, I'm not confusing you. What I'm trying to draw your attention to is that has he been, I'm asking the question you are asking me, has he been notified? If he has not been notified, let's take steps to notify him. If we don't notify him and we go on to the trial, then we are fighting a lost cause.
Okay.
That is all I'm drawing your attention to.
Okay.
Yes. So the OSP, the SP needs our support. Yes, we need to support the SP to be successful. But he must help himself for us to help him to be successful. If it is that he has the Ken Ofori-Atta in line, he had all this before change of government, and he was he had concern that the Ofori-Atta might leave the jurisdiction. Apart from the news conference, he could have arrested him. He could have arrested him and had gone to court and asked the court that this man is a flight risk. Don't allow him to leave the country. That is my concern. But until he's not been able to do all that, he's not been able to do the press conference as usual and tell us what is happening. Yes, I agree with Martin. Martin is not saying let's all rush to the airport and arrest him. We can all rush to the airport, or the people rushing to the airport, to prevent him from leaving the country. Yes, he has not been charged with anything. All the finance ministers who had that portfolio before him have stayed in the country after change of government. They never left. Even Chachuchikata was out of the country when he was accused. He flew in and to defend himself. So if it is genuinely that, let's assume that he's genuinely innocent, and of course we should assume that he's innocent, why is he out of the country? Now, we gave the idea about health, and I've given you examples of those people who had the health issues. They were here. You were asking me what's the comparison. They didn't travel. They were in the country. They were attending court.
No, I heard you blaming the prosecutors.
No, I didn't blame the prosecutors.
Oh, you didn't? Okay,
no,
okay.
That's not it. I'm only giving you the comparison that they were here. They were interviewed. So if it is about health and he's here, he could still be interviewed. That is my presentation this morning.
All right.
That Mr. Tevi and Anemana were both in the country. They had health issues. They were interviewed. There was no problem. So to talk about the idea that people will say, oh, you don't have sympathy for the man because the man is unwell and you want to question him or interview him. There are instances where people had problems. They were in the country and they were interviewed. So for Ken Ofori-Atta to be allowed just because it is health reason to be out and he wasn't interviewed, that to me doesn't sit well.
Who allowed him?
The previous government, what the SP tells us is that he tried to get him stopped and he wasn't allowed to the immigration didn't help, nationals. He mentioned all the people who were supposed to help didn't help, but he has to leave the country upon seeking permission from the chief of staff, the former chief of staff and the current chief of staff, to attend medical attention. Yes, he could have drawn our attention to some of this happening, that he wants to interview this man or question this man. Then he could have invoked the idea that you are under arrest, I'm investigation ABC, and we stop him. Okay. But to have allowed him to go now, then we are now crying, I think for me.
So I asked the question that, imagine I become aware that he's at the airport. What did he say he should have done?
What should he? No, I said I agree with what Martin said.
Yeah.
Yes, we should
do a press conference.
Yes, I mean.
And you and I will go to the airport.
I'll go with you if you
go and stop him.
I'll go with you if you go.
Okay.
But the fact is that Samson, Ken has to be personally notified of the charges. How are we going to notify him personally?
Are you suggesting that the people who are doing it, they don't know what they are about?
As at now, I would have thought that if I had known all they are about, why didn't they do it until the man left the country?
Oh, really? Oh, you mean in January?
Yes.
They should have filed the charges then?
They should have, even if they had not filed
all these charges.
Start? When if they have not filed,
when did the investigation start?
I don't know when the investigation started, but if that had not happened, how come that he was worried about
investigations? The story broke, I think sometime in November of
2024.
No, it was before, and then there was the KPMG report that came out, and so on and so forth. But they have told you also that they had to do some investigations, and they got SML machines and devices picked up only about 3-4 months ago, and that's what has led to them being able to finish their work.
Samson, you know and I know that there are some instances where persons are invited for preliminary investigation and investigations are not completed. You had all this, so that is why I asked the question, what was their strategy?
Okay.
Assuming they had all this in mind, the story broke somewhere in November, and potentially it looks like something which could be big. You err on the side of caution to say, let us get this man, let's caution him and get ABC done so that we stop him from leaving the country.
Thank you.
Now, after January, you are aware when they have lost power, you are aware he might leave the country.
Hassan, what do you say?
Thank you very much, Samson. Good morning to...
So now we are listening to the lawyers, and I'll tax the lawyers a bit because